Good win for us, 2-0. Going into a big-time battle with Auburn. Excited to see the team today. I know they're going to be excited this week for our preparation against a very, very tough Auburn football team. Some things about the game. We're proud that we won the turnover battle again, +3. We're +5 for the year. Haven't committed a turnover yet, and that's something we work very hard on. A good defensive performance to get a shutout. The guys played for 60 minutes. We worked hard on that shutout. Let them in the end zone at the end. Some guys that I thought that played really well on defense: Devin White, Neil Farrell in his first game to have a lot of snaps. I thought he played outstanding. Brady Fajoko, 2 good games in a row for him. Micah Baskersfield, who took the place of Jacob Phillips, played outstanding. I thought those guys played really good. Another good outing by special teams. Cole Tracy, 50-yard field goal. Avery Atkins, 5 kickoffs out the end zone. Zach Rosenberg, 4 punts inside the 20. Again, Coach Mack did a tremendous job on special teams. On offense, Nick Brissett with 137 yards rushing. As I said, no turnovers. And I thought we used the clock right before half. Excellent with the Hail Mary pass at the end. A good catch, good throw by Joe, and good catch by Stephon Sullivan. We need to improve on our pass protection and our overall passing game. We're going to make some adjustments this week to make improvements in that area. On to Auburn, +2 in the turnover ratio. Offense, Jared Stidham's one of the best quarterbacks we're going to see all year. Travius Whitlow, excellent physical running back. Ryan Davis, excellent athlete out there. 6 returning starters on offense. Very well coached by Gus Malzahn. Up-tempo, physical, screens, get the ball in the perimeter, hit shots. Very explosive football team, averaging 500 yards at offense. On defense, Kevin Steele is doing a tremendous job with his 4-3 defense. It's led by his front 7. Derek Brown, who I try to recruit, reminded me of Reggie White when I met him. He's that size. He's that type of football player. I think he's outstanding. Now, Travius Russell, Marlon Davidson, Nick Cole, I know all these guys, try to recruit them all. They've done a good job of recruiting this front 4. They're fast at linebackers, aggressive at the secondary. Their safeties hardly miss any tackles, and they're very solid on the special teams. We're excited about this week, opening SEC play. We're going to have our guys back. We should be fairly healthy this week going into the game. We're looking forward to a very tough matchup against Auburn. Any questions?
Coach, you mentioned just a minute ago how you guys have 0 turnovers so far this season, and the defense have proved to be pretty dominant so far. So what are you guys' plans going up against a pretty dominant Auburn offense this weekend?
Yeah, you go against Gus Malzahn, you have to stop the run. You have to tackle. They're physical. They run the ball in between tackles. You have a lot of good schemes on the perimeter, the screens, the bubble screens, all the jailbreak screens, and then he's going to lure you in to bring in the safeties in and throw the ball behind your head and throw it deep. So he has an overhaul plan. You have to protect the whole field against Gus Malzahn for 60 minutes, and you have to tackle well and be physical.
Coach, over here on your right, we saw a lot of 7- and 8-man protection Saturday night in order to better protect the quarterback. Is there any thought as to whether or not it ends up being a net negative because there's not as many options for the quarterback to get rid of the ball?
That's an option, to go empty and go 4 wides and throw the quicks. 2 of the times that we had protection, we had a chip on, and Bedora had help, but Joe held the ball too long, and the receivers wasn't open. So you bring up a good point, and those are options. We can go empty. We can go 4 wides. It's less protection. We are taking a chance of beating 1-on-1, though.
Ed down here. How do you think Austin Deculus did filling in a left tackle, and do you think he might maybe compete a bit more at right tackle?
Yeah, we're going to move him to right tackle this week, give him a chance to compete with Bedora, see who has the best week. That's a very good observation on your part. Go.
Coach O, talk about Avery Atkinson. Akins, his performance. He's been great, but also the second part, he is from Auburn.
Yeah.
Recruiting him, do you remember how it was trying to recruit him from there?
Well, I got to give the credit to Coach Mack. Coach Mack did all the work. Great parents. Avery's a 4.0 grade point average student. Always wanted to come to LSU. And when his parents came here, his father loved it. They wanted to be here. And Avery is going to earn himself a scholarship here at LSU as soon as I can get him one. and he is going to be our kicker for the next 3 years, which I'm happy about. I know he's excited about going home, but I know this, with any of our players, it's never going to be about any individual, it's about the team.
Coach, can you speak to the challenge your offensive line faces this week against Auburn's defensive line? And then second, with the crowd noise as well, facing a hostile crowd for the first time.
There'll be a lot of things we have to face this week. First of all, we have to fix ourselves, and there's some things that we can fix. There's some technical errors that we can fix. Getting Sadiq back at left tackle will help us. Moving Austin to right tackle, give Bedora some help. Remember, he's a junior college player. This is his first time in full action, so we believe he's going to be a good player. He was thrown into the action. He did do some good things, but he did make some mistakes. The crowd noise will work in all week. We'll be ready to go. I believe our offensive line will have its best game come Saturday. I totally believe in what we're doing.
Coach in the back here. Joe Burrow has 2 games under his belt now. How have you seen his leadership grow through those 2 games, and how do you think it's going to grow in a hostile environment like Auburn?
You know, you saw him run the ball a little bit more, and he can make some plays, extending the plays with his feet. I think you're going to see more of that. He's growing comfortable with his teammates. I think that Joe is going to lead by example. And as soon as he wins the big game, I think you're going to see a lot more confidence in him. But he feels, and so do I, that he has to prove himself. And the only way to prove yourself around here is win the big game.
Coach, you just referenced Joe making plays with his feet. After the game, he said he's not a slider.
Yeah.
He's fixing to face some pretty stout defenses.
Yeah.
You got any words of advice to him?
You know, Joe has the mentality of a fullback. I mean, he wants to go and hit him, a linebacker and stuff like that. But me and Coach Ensmaker are going to have a conversation with him.
Hey, Coach, is Michael Devaney going to be back Saturday, and just plans around him being there?
Say it again.
Just the plans with Michael this week.
Yeah, Mike's going to play this week. He's going to play. He's going to play. Sadiq's going to play. John Trey's going to play, and Ed Alexander's going to play. Those guys will play this week.
Coach, last time at Auburn wasn't good for LSU, but things kind of changed after that game. What do you remember about that game, the ride back and everything?
Tough fight. Last play we scored. Time ran out on the clock. Emotional day for everybody, obviously. Coach Miles did a great job for everybody over here. That was an emotional time for everybody. And unexpected things happened, but that's football, and we dealt with it, and then we moved on.
Coach, in retrospect, how limited have you guys been in the passing game, just given the amount of pressure that you guys have seen in the offensive line?
You know, I don't want to say we're limited at all. I mean, we're free to call the plays we want to, the personnel group we want to. We ought to be better in the passing game. I think that it can't be put on all the protection. I think that we need to catch the ball when we're throwing the ball. We need to get open more. We need to be more creative in what we're doing, and I think we're going to do that.
Ed, to your left over here. What are some of the specifics you do with Joe to prepare him for a road start? Obviously, silent counts, that sort of thing. What do you do specifically, maybe different than what you've done maybe the last 2 games?
Yeah, you know, Steve's going to work with him on that. I don't coach Joe at all. I'll kind of stay out of it, to be honest with you. I'll let Steve do it. But, you know, we're going to have crowd noise all week. We're going to play game copies so he can understand how loud it is. But he's been in some loud games before. And specific stuff you do regularly on the road, we'll do with him. And he's able to do it. This will not be foreign to Joe Burrow.
I believe you mentioned on the teleconference last week that you texted Kevin Steele, after the Washington game. I was curious, have you talked to him at all this week?
Not this week.
What do you expect, I guess, see out of him this week in his defense?
He's great. Kevin's a great friend, a great recruiter, a great coach. I'm happy for him. I hope he gets a shot as another head coach. I think he'd be fantastic. Just a tremendous man to work with on a daily basis. You know, he's calling the right defenses. He has his guys in the right places. He's letting them play. It looks like he's having fun. I'm happy for him.
Yeah, Coach, over here. You guys have split the reps pretty evenly between D, Anderson, Jamar Chase, and Terrace Marshall. Do you see any of them taking a hold on the spot this week?
Say it again. What was your last part?
Do you see any of them really taking a hold of the spot?
Well, not really. And no one's really stood out. I mean, Jamar made a couple good catches. No one's has really taken that position of the bull by the horn. So, Stephon Sullivan made some good catches for us, made some good plays. Those guys need to improve. They need to improve on their route running. They need to improve on their blocking. They need to improve on catching the football, and I know they will. We feel that Justin Jefferson can be an excellent football player.
Coach, you talked about the things that you can fix, you're going to work on, but those things that you can't fix, how do you mask them? How do you hide them? How do you make sure they're at the bottom of the agenda?
First of all, we feel like we can fix most of the things we can. Then we got to protect it. We got to protect the things that we know we don't do well. Either give somebody some help, don't do it, don't put them in that situation. There's some things that we can do on offense that we're not doing right now that we plan on doing this week.
Ed, down here in the front. What has Grant brought to this defense as a guy down in the box and someone that Dave can bring off the edge?
Versatility. Very smart. Grant's tall, rangy. The first thing you want in a safety, you can play the post. I mean, remember, he's protecting our team. He's the last line of defense. He has to make an open field tackle. He can do all that, but he can rush. He can cover man-to-man. He can play zone. He can take on blocks. He's been very versatile. It's like having three players. That's how much he means to our defense right now.
Coach, Giles hasn't touched the ball much on offense so far. Is he a guy that can kind of thrive in a short passing game or kind of quick stuff?
Yeah, we need to get him the ball more, and he needs to make some improvement. Obviously, we were disappointed that we didn't get the ball to him. But, he had a couple of returns. He's doing a good job in practice. We just need to feed him the ball.
Ed, down here. I know you mentioned Torrey Carter in that list. Is he going to play Saturday?
Yeah, he is.
Okay, I got you.
Coach, when the series is as even as it is for the home team, could you speak to just the SEC home crowd factor and maybe some of these guys that haven't seen it yet, what they're in for?
Yeah, it is a tremendous advantage for us to play at home, but to be a great football team, you have to win on the road, and you have to win on the road in the SEC in a hostile environment. So I want our team to get used to it. It's what we have to do. We have to go out there and play very good. We can't let it be a factor. We need to use it as our advantage. Our guys get fired up when they play on the road. Using it in the right mindset. We have to use this one. It's going to be 60 minutes. It's going to be an all-out battle.
Coach, down here in the front. Jamal Adams tweeted out that he begged Coach Aranda to blitz last year, the year before. And then Grant Delpre gets the blitz, it seems like, whenever he wants. Is this just more of a Coach Aranda's open up the playbook?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, this is his third year, and, we have a different defensive staff than we had the first year. Dave feels very comfortable with this defensive staff, and every defensive staff has a different makeup. Guys like to do this. Everyone has different strengths and weaknesses. This is a very, very good defensive staff. We're able to do a lot of things, make a lot of adjustments.
We talked about this after the game about maybe not playing your best so far, not necessarily being a negative. You guys can use it as motivation. Do you feel like the guys have that? You just referenced a moment ago about making it positive on the road.
Yeah, I think these guys are going to be hungry to match the intensity level or play better than we did in Miami in all phases of the game, to match that feeling that we had before the game. That feeling was not there against Southeast Louisiana. We all knew it, and we went through it, and we're glad we won the game. But we're going to need to have that intensity and more throughout the whole game. This is a better football team than Miami. We know that. It's a big rivalry for the LSU Tigers. It's SEC play. It's physical football. It's going to take our best to beat them.
Coach, over here on your right. With so many first-time starters on the offensive line and guys moving around, how important is Garrett Brumfield to that unit, and what does he bring to the
His leadership has been critical. In fact, he talked to the team after our game Saturday night. His leadership, his communications, his smartness, his awareness, his ability to make corrections during the game, adjustments during the game on the sideline with them. He's like a coach on the field.
Coach, something you talked about in Atlanta was your approach as a head coach and delegating more and maybe not micromanaging as much. You just said, I let Steve coach Joe. I don't get involved in that. After an August practice and first couple weeks of games, you feeling comfortable with that?
Yeah, I think I'm doing the best I can with it. I go to work. I give the guys the schedule today. I spend most of my time on defense, but I do make corrections on offense if I need to see it. That's my job. And every Sunday I make suggestions. I have all the answers just like everybody else, And I make suggestions what I think we ought to do to get better. I watch the practice tape. I watch everybody's individual. I watch all the offense, all the special teams. I mean, if something's broke, I demand that we fix it. So there's accountability. I don't tell them what to run or how to run it, but if it's broke, I want it fixed.
Kind of along that same line, you being a defensive line coach, can you really pinpoint the deficiencies on your offensive line and help them?
I work closely with Coach Craig every day, and we go against each other. So I talk to him about some things that I think that we need to fix. Hey, this guy's really strong at this. If I was playing against him, this is what I would do. We talk about it a bunch.
Coach, right here to your right. Last year in the Auburn game, Auburn actually obviously got off to a very fast start, took a huge lead immediately. Does that come up in like y'all's game planning sessions and how to avoid it this time around?
No, we watched their first 15 plays. They're very fast. A lot of formations that gave us problems last year. Obviously, the screen that went, 60 yards. They're going to come out on the perimeter. They're going to throw screens. They're going to throw sweeps and try to get you loosen up and get you tired. They compound you. And then as soon as they start pounding, they're going to try to throw over your head. I mean, that's the way the guy's been all his career. He's been successful, and we expect the same thing.
Coach, it seems like this team has a really special bond, almost a more special bond than previous years, and they understand each other. How do you think this helps in difficult situations and going up against their first SEC opener?
Yeah, I think it really helps. We have leadership. We went through adversity at camp. We went to play Miami. Not many people gave us a chance outside of our building. We always felt that we were going to win. We felt good about it, and it worked. And, it was good that we could win the game this week and not play very well in some phases and learn that we win as a team. And there's some things that we can get fixed. But I know our players are hungry. I know our players are hearing things here and there and stuff like that are affecting them. It shouldn't affect them, but I think they use it as a positive motivation, sort of a chip on their shoulder maybe, and they have to prove that they're a good football team. But, we have a tough schedule ahead, a long way to go. We're going to take it one at a time, and Auburn's our first opponent up.
And it seems like you're pretty familiar with the defensive line from recruiting. What kind of challenges do they pose, and what kind of difficulty is it to deal with a group of 17, throw that many guys?
Yeah. They're big, physical, and fast. They penetrate in the backfield. They're slant. They're well coached. They use their hands well to get off of blocks. It's hard to single block 5. I mean, if you're going to try to single block them, you have to be a man. They put Davison on the tight end. He's a 6 technique on the tight end, weighing 280 pounds. So they're big and they're physical. Kevin blitzes a lot. His safeties make a lot of tackles. The corners can play press. It makes it difficult.
We were talking about last night on the radio at some point, talking about using running backs to chip people off. Does that change how you use your personnel there? Is Nick better at that? Does it change how you use Clyde? Does it change how you?
Yeah, both of them can do it, and both of them did it in the game. In fact, they did a good job of it. It was the 2 hurries that we got that caused the fumbles, almost caused fumbles. We were chipping, and the guy went underneath the chip block, and we had a technical error about Bedore. He opened up. He should have stayed square. But Joe was holding the ball, too. There wasn't anybody open, so he held the ball a little too long. So it was a combination of poor technique by the tackle and not having a route concept that was open, and we held the ball too long. So we can get that fixed.